Before Sydney Bristow and before Agent Carter, there was Natasha, the sexy female spy with a rather sinister edge. On today's episode of Terrific TV Toys, we're going to behold a Natasha bendie. It's the evil Natasha Fatale, partner in crime to Boris Badenov on the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. The lovely femme fatale, I guess that's the point they were trying to get across with her last name. And to talk about the show itself a little bit, a couple different shows are on the IMDb listed for around the same time period. Rocky and His Friends, 1959 to 1964, as a half-hour cartoon that I remember seeing in the mornings before I caught the school bus, along with Underdog and all of that stuff. I would watch Rocky and Bullwinkle. And then there's also a listing for a Bullwinkle show, 1961 and 1964, that is AKA Rocky and Bullwinkle show. So a couple different variations of this. But it was Rocket J. Squirrel and Bullwinkle the Moose, and they had all kinds of horrifying encounters with Boris and Natasha, or Natasha, however you would like to say her name, who was this very pasty white female with an accent who wore this lavender dress, strapless gown, and was evil and plotting every moment. And June Foray was the one who voiced both Natasha and Rocket J. Squirrel, interestingly enough. And the TV shows came from J. Ward Productions back then, and ran in syndication for just so many years. I know through my childhood it was a fixture, the Rocky and Bullwinkle show, as it came to be known. Now, the interesting thing about this gal, I got her when I was a kid. She is dated 1972. If you look at the back of her dress, it has Natasha spelled out for Natasha. Wham-O is the manufacturer. And then it says copyright 1972, PAT, J. Ward Productions, made in Hong Kong. Now, the tricky thing, I did a pretty exhaustive search online to find her. I found a lot of things a lot like her. I did not find the exact her, which was a little disappointing, and I'll explain to you what the difference was. There was a whole set of these bendies, and she's still pretty bendy after all these years. She's in good shape. I remember at one point in my childhood, I had played with her so much, she was all dirty, and I remember cleaning off her white skin, scrubbing her so she was white again. But yeah, I've taken pretty good care of her and played with her a lot. I liked her a lot when I was a real little kid. But there was a whole set of them. There was Boris and Natasha and Bullwinkle and Rocky and etc. And these were all made, the initial set, I think, from what I could tell, made in 1972 by Wham-O. And I've seen those, actually a 2-pack of those I saw recently going for $100 on eBay. The Rocky and Bullwinkle ones, I think those are new on the card, so they're fairly valuable. But there was the set in 1972. There have been other sets over the years. The manufacturer Jesco, with a J, also did a 1985 version, a bendy just like this, of Natasha that I saw on eBay. But she has longer hair than mine, and she has another curl on her shoulders, so she's got like a double curl going on. So she wasn't exactly the same. And then on the back, she doesn't have as many pinholes. I don't know if you can catch, there's a couple sets of pinholes there, for lack of a better term, that's what I'm calling them. And then on the back of her hands, and then she's got some right there at the top of her dress as well. So little holes. And the 1985 bendy by Jesco didn't have as many of those on the back. But the most noticeable difference with that 1985 one, and then there's also a 1986 bendy of Natasha that did not have a manufacturer listed, that was reissued in 1991. And then there also was, let me see, 1991... I think Jesco manufactured the ones in 1991. I also saw from other eBay listings. So it looks like Jesco and Wham-O were the two primary manufacturers for these bendies in this set, 1991 or 1985 or 1986. But all of them had a difference in the shoes. All the ones that I saw online had a strap across the shoes like Mary Jane's, essentially Mary Jane's shoes. I could not find a single photo of a Natasha bendie online that had just this flat thing without the straps. So that had me a little befuddled. I'm like, okay, where did this thing come from? I know it's by Wham-O. I don't know if maybe they did an early release or a different release without the strap on the shoe. It's a very minor point, but collectors, you know, if you're a hardcore collector, you're going to care about something like that. But of everything that I saw, and also thanks to a website called GasolineAlleyAntiques.com, because I learned a lot by looking at that website. There were some versions of her that I've talked about were a little stouter too, that weren't as long and thin, but nothing exactly like this. I couldn't find my lovely Natasha. So I guess that'll remain a mystery for right now. She's got quite a bit of detail. Look at those raging eyebrows going straight up, and she's got some blue eyeshadow there with her ruby red lips. She's got a very Elvira thing going on, or perhaps Lily Munster or something like that. But yeah, she's cool. And one of my childhood toys that has been preserved to this day. And actually, you know, as a cartoon character, look at that. She's also got 3 fingers plus a thumb on each hand, which is interesting. Don't think she's the only cartoon character that's got that going on. But yeah, that's my Natasha. And it would have been cool to find or to have other ones from the set back then. But I think because I was a little girl, my mom got me the girl figure from the set. That's what she naturally did. A little girl would play with a girl doll. So I think that was the thinking with that. So yeah, little slice of my childhood.